the Dominion voting machines stole the votes. And George Soros, Mark Zuckerberg, paid.
Mark Zuckerbuck?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerbuck?
Joe Biden has been dead since 2019. James Woods, the actor, is playing Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe Poopy Pants. But the president is.
What? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm joined by Holly. What's up, Holly?
Hi. I'm literally super excited to be here. I just said super, literally super.
Super literally, superly based.
Yeah.
There we go. And today we're doing a follow-up to the video I posted recently, which was on the deranged Trump supporters. And Holly, you were the one who actually sent me that video before.
Yeah.
So now there's another one that was out. We found the 4 craziest Trump supporters. So I thought maybe we should watch that together. Are you ready?
I'm really excited to see if who's the craziest, you know what I mean? So like out of the other 6 and these 4, you get to decide which one is the craziest of all 10. You can crown the person.
Wow. I've never been so honored.
Yeah, Miss Craziest Trump America.
Let us begin.
There are indictments. There's audio tape of him with classified documents, sharing them with people who didn't have that security clearance. Does any of that bother you?
No, I think they've been after him so long that all of this is just a witch hunt, like he described it. I don't think there's anything Trump's done wrong. I think that the desperate opposition is just after him.
He ain't
they
done nothing
started
wrong.
out,
He done
Free my boy Trump.
Free my boy Trump. He ain't done nothing wrong.
He ain't do nothing wrong.
But like, how do they actually think that when like so many different courts have found him guilty? He's faced so many different indictments now from different people. Do they really think they're all biased?
Honestly, I think that these people have a lack of self-awareness and therefore they have a lack of accountability. Like just imagine themselves in their life. Like they're probably that Karen in the store that's like screaming and saying that everybody else is the problem.
Yeah. No, absolutely. They definitely
Yeah,
lack
literally.
self-awareness.
and they've been after him 8 different ways, and they're going to keep after him until they.
The 9th time's the charm, you know? With all these
Well, no.
with all this witch hunt, you'd think we were back in Salem. They just repeat the same thing that Trump says.
Literally.
They really don't have their own original talking points.
They went after Richard Nixon. They went after Bill Clinton. And now the courts in several different states are finding different things about Trump. Is there anything that could happen with him indictment-wise that would say, all right, maybe this disqualifies him for president?
Not for me. I'm with him to the finish.
Not even murder?
All right, thank you so much.
He could stand on the front steps of the White House and commit murder, and I'm with him.
Explain.
He answered, "Oh man, see, this is the problem. Is you had to ask. This the thing is, the Trump supporters are always talking about illegals crossing the border, but they're always crossing the border with like civilized society. They're
Literally,
always
he was just like, I don't want immigrants coming to this country because they commit murder. They murder our people. And he's like, but Trump could murder our people. And I'd be like, yeehaw.
but if Trump murders, you know, that's different. He ain't brown, you see, like
Yeah.
pretty much. And then
He's a United States citizen.
And then I'm gonna just try to ignore the fact that he said White House, and instead focus on the fact that he literally voluntarily gave that information up too. Like the guy
Look
was
at that
like,
guy in the background too.
yeah, like, but the interviewer guy was like, all right, chill, thanks for the interview, cool. And then this guy just voluntarily, on deciding on his own, was like, you know, if Trump committed murder, I'd still support him too, right? Like he
Literally,
voluntarily gave that information up.
Could you imagine what's happening still, like that they cut out? He was like, he just kept giving more and more incriminating. So he's like, it's even if he killed 1,000 children in a school bus, I'd still support him.
Even if he
Even
did
if he
another
broke-
Holocaust, I would not care. Like he just keeps on going with it.
Explain that to me. That's amazing. I mean,
Look,
Like even the interviewer's like, "Thank you, that's amazing. Wow."
look, he's the only man we've ever had in my lifetime that stood for America as president.
How much of this do you think is just projection? Also, he's like, he's the only man who's ever stood for America, and for me.
He's daddy.
I was a George Herbert Walker Bush man and all that, but
Wow.
They don't anybody compare to Donald
Who's
Trump. He
George
loves this country.
Herbert Walker Bush? Who's George Herbert Walker Bush?
I assume that's like one of the George Bushes before George W. Bush,
Yeah,
or maybe
it was
George W. Bush Walker.
George Herbert Walker Bush.
Oh yeah, George H.W. Bush. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
And that's why I love him.
But I'm going to push
Oh wait, he admitted his undying love for Trump. Although honestly, the biggest up thus far isn't even the confession about the murder thing. It's the fact that he forgot to say no homo after saying
You want to know what?
what?
I think you're right.
Yeah,
You just let the mask slip.
he let it go, man. I think he might be gay.
You want to know what's funny?
What?
The fact that all of them are wearing that same style of sunglasses. I don't like it. I don't like those sunglasses.
You know
and
what?
I don't
You're
like
right.
wearing them. And everybody in the background is wearing the exact same.
Let me move you
Type
out of
of
the way so that
sunglasses.
people can see. Oh yeah, look. It's the boomer sunglass. It's like
It
it's
is,
a rite of
yeah.
passage. It's like once you reach a certain age, you have to buy these sunglasses.
Literally.
back a little bit because, and you're, I'm guessing, a
Look at all of them. Even the lady in the background has them, dude. What the?
months older than me, but I'm going to say that, looking back at some presidents like Eisenhower, like LBJ, like Gerald Ford, like
Who's LBJ?
Reagan,
Martin
Bush, who
Luther
you
King?
mentioned. What
Oh, that guy.
The Great Society was a set of domestic programs in the United States launched by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1964-1965. Yeah, this is where like welfare came into the picture.
So you're telling me Lyndon B. based?
Lyndon B. based.
Lyndon B. putting his nuts in your mouth.
Okay, you don't want to start sounding more deranged than the Trump supporters, Holly.
Lyndon B. putting his Johnson in your mouth.
You're hilarious.
what about them didn't stand for America in the same way that Trump does?
I think it's got to do with the times we're living in. America's being assaulted. Open borders, all the
Trump has done some assaulting.
The only assault I like in my country is assault rifles in elementary schools.
True. But also,
The
Trump
borders are assaulting us.
hasn't Trump assaulted people? Honestly, maybe in his own deranged mind, that kind of makes sense. He's like, you know what? If the country is currently being assaulted, we need the chief assaulter to stop the assaulting. But also, just to actually address his point. too,
America's being assaulted.
yeah, so like America is not being assaulted. There is no open borders. A lot of the times it's really funny because if you ask a conservative, oh, how do you know there's open borders? Or like, what's the data to support that there's like all these immigrants? They bring up statistics on encounters at the border,
Oh.
which are border security stopping people and sending them back. So you
Yeah.
can't say you have an immigration crisis because there's an influx of encounters, because all that means is that more people are just being turned away.
And nobody stood under the attack that Trump stood under. And look what he's done. He's hanging
It's
in
like
there.
saying someone's really brave because they stood for the attack, and it turns out the attack was just like grenades that they themselves were lighting and then throwing at
He
themselves.
literally he made that too. Yeah.
Yeah, like
He was doing dumb things and he was f***ing around. He was finding out, and these people are like, don't make him find out.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly. It was like him or like him sowing, I am the greatest. Him reaping, I am a victim. Like literally. No, it's definitely true though. Like Trump himself kept putting his foot in his mouth. Remember Trump before walking back on it literally said that he thinks that the Constitution should be like overruled because the Constitution was allowing election fraud to take place or some shit like that. He tried to walk back on it later, but he literally said like he wouldn't be opposed to suspending the Constitution.
Do you remember when like everybody turned against his vaccine? Because like they were like all of his supporters turned against like the vaccine, and they
Yeah.
were like, we're not gonna get the vaccine, and then he was really upset. And he's like, hey, I spent a lot of time creating this vaccine. You're gonna get it. It's like I spent time making this food. You're gonna eat every bit of it off your plate. He had that kind of dynamic with his own like supporters.
Yeah,
It
and
was
I would
really
get
funny.
I would get like smug anti-vaxxers that would come in and to argue with me, and they'd be like, "So, do you know who was in charge of making that vaccine happen?" Huh. To think that they were like get me all like in a corner or something, I was like, "Yeah, Trump did. It was one of the few good things he did in office. What's next?" Like that's all there is to it.
I'm going to support him to the end. I hope he wins. We need him.
The George Floyd thing, that was all set up too.
How was that set up?
What?
That police officer didn't have his knee on the neck.
Police offer.
The police officer didn't have his knee on the neck? I think somebody put a knee through this guy's teeth, first and foremost. Holy shit.
I was focusing on how his bangs aren't fully throughout his forehead.
Also, how can he say he didn't have his knee on the neck? There was the video. A literal video was recorded of it.
Did you see the video?
No, I didn't see the video. Just like I think January 6th is rigged. Too.
Wait. So he just didn't watch the video?
He probably also didn't see the court ruling.
He's like, if I don't watch it, it never happened.
Yeah, right. If I can't see it, it can't see me.
Talk about January 6th in terms of what did you think it was? Tomorrow's the anniversary, 3 years. What do you think was rigged about it?
I think it was set up by Democrats.
In what way? Because there's no, sort of purported evidence of that.
I don't know. I think Republicans as a whole are more, just more calm and everything.
Wait,
It's like
what? Does he know that white supremacists and white nationalists are the primary source, the biggest domestic terrorist related threat to this country?
Yeah.
Does he know that? Did you know that? Like, that's a thing.
Mm, I would assume, yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume that like people who like do school shootings are probably the biggest domestic terrorists,
Right. And it's
or not
it's
just school shootings, but mass shootings.
and it's white, usually white nationalists, conservative leaning people. Those
Usually
are
their
the-
manifestos like cover that, with it inceldom or just things that like go back to conserving something that is like right leaning.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like conservatives have a vested interest, right, in trying to like stop the spread of degeneracy or something
Literally,
like this.
yeah.
Like they how
They
did
act like superheroes.
you can tell also when he's saying like they're just more calm that he only ever, if he didn't even see the Floyd video, he only ever watches like SJW wrecked videos, probably like on
Yeah,
loop.
literally. Yeah, I bet he only ever watches those like random gay teacher being owned, and like all the person
yeah.
said was like, God doesn't like gay people, and he's like, preach, hallelujah.
Yeah, or he's just like watching those random videos that like the alt-righters will post of like black people committing crime or like violently like attacking people, and they'll like caption it something like, I bet this looks familiar. Or like curious or something like that. They'll always do shit like that. And like I
Yeah.
bet those are the kinds of shit, the kind of shit he's watching, you know?
it's like the riots in the streets when Trump was president. I mean, the riots were all Democratic cities.
I love how he is there somebody in the background literally trying to contradict him? He's like,
Yeah, there's somebody
Republican.
screaming, let's go Brandon.
I know, but he's like, Republicans are a lot more calm. Like literally, how did it was like it was set up. I think that
He's
was
jo-
you know what? Hold on. I think that was rigged by Democrats right there. The
Yeah,
Democrats just set
literally.
that shit up.
Honestly, the jokes write themselves with these people. It's so funny, like their lack of self-awareness. They're literally locals.
Yeah, they are.
The riots were all Democratic cities. I mean, and
What cities aren't democratic? Oh, small towns.
It's almost as if all cities, are or virtually all cities are
Yeah.
Democratic, and of course the majority of rioting and civil unrest is going to be apparent in a big city. The best question to ask these people when they say this dumb shit is, okay, what Democratic policy specifically, or what Democrat policy specifically is responsible for the higher rates of crime? Because it turns out that a city means more people living in closer proximity. Of course there's higher rates of crime in all cities. But yeah,
and if you look at
that's a very weak argument for them to be like, it's Democratic, because again, I love bringing this one up
Yeah.
too. Republican states receive the most federal funding. They receive the most federal aid. They never are making enough with their local economies. They always need the big daddy government to support them. That comes from our tax dollars. Democratic cities having crime, Republican cities have crime too.
they haven't released the videos on January 6th. They did a little bit, and you watch them, and the guy's just walking through. The police are helping them. It just don't look like a true.
Here we go again. I don't understand protocol. Yes, if there is a large mob of people rushing the police and it's just like a couple Capitol officers and a little gate, the protocol is that you literally move the barrier and move out of the way and let them go in and get to the next barrier that's been set up. That's
True.
protocol. So when he says like they were just letting them in. No, they were actually following protocol because there were too many people, too quickly, too aggressive for the officers at hand to actually handle it.
Yeah, they were trying to de-escalate probably.
Yeah, because like if they can't handle it, it's like, okay, there's another barrier here.
Yeah. Because like not all cops should be confrontational. So like the way that like some cops handle it, it's like when they start like shelling and shooting rubber bullets and like macing people, it's bad. You know what I mean? They
Right.
literally cause more chaos by doing that. So if you de-escalate a situation, it's better.
Exactly.
So
No, it totally makes sense. This guy just, again, he's not watching any of the videos, so he doesn't understand what's going on.
You know, it didn't look like the riots when
he's
Trump
like,
was
cops should
president,
shoot
when they were
people.
burning cities. Now, if they really was an insurrection, the Capitol, I mean, what do they think? They weren't as good as the people that were rioting, burning cities?
There were two different events, right? I mean,
They're two different events, but two different people. You got Republicans and you got the Democrats.
no, but the riots were not Democrats and Republicans. They were just citizens. They weren't.
They
It
were,
wasn't.
yeah, like a lot of, there were also some people who literally will just take advantage of civil unrest and be like, oh, everybody's uneasy and everything. I'm going to go loot this store now because I
Yeah,
can.
literally most like there was a lot of people doing that. Just like those like people who are like, I'm gonna go down there and try to like shoot
Yeah.
at people, you know?
Like people take advantage of it, but I don't understand. Well, I can understand because he's stupid, but like he somehow isn't grasping the very simple fact that obviously riots in a local region due to civil unrest, like dispersed across the country, are going to be very different than like a specific targeted attack, more or less, on a government building and the reason for the attack, right? Like the riots happened because of civil unrest. The reason for the attack on the Capitol riots, was because they wanted to interrupt and stop the certification of the election. They literally
Yeah.
wanted to interfere with the democratic process. Like they wanted to uproot America from its foundation almost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
and
a
they had
totally
like
different thing.
plans to do bad too. They had plans to do crimes, like to
Right.
kidnap Nancy Pelosi and stuff. Like they literally had plans and zip ties and freaking
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like they had they had bad plans where like the Black Lives Matter supporters, they didn't have like an agenda other than to be heard.
U.S. American cities are democratic. It wasn't something that people identified with in politics. It was opposed to what happened with policing, which is in Minnesota, that caused a wave around the country. But those were, people who
Minnesota.
live in a city. If you live in New Orleans, you don't think of it as a democratic city. You think of it as New Orleans, right? If you vote in a Democratic primary, you think of yourself as democratic.
Yeah. But also, like even like you mentioned, Minneapolis, the George Floyd thing, that was all set up too.
There was a months-long trial for those police officers and certainly the lead police officer in Minnesota, where they saw angles. And it wasn't just videos, people's cell phone, and they went into it with the best forensics in the country and found Chauvin guilty of what he did. And by all accounts and to the naked eye, his knee.
Literally, because of what Chauvin did with the knee on the neck, like it was revealed that that was part of the police protocol before, to put your knee on someone's neck, but it was very specifically meant to be done for a very short amount of time
Mhm.
because of the risks with what happened with George Floyd.
Yeah.
Because when you do it for so long, you can kill somebody. So
Yeah.
it's meant to only like briefly subdue someone, specifically if they're like majorly out of control. But afterwards, that was done away with, and that just shows how narcissistic a lot of these people are too. Because he thinks, despite the videos, despite the court ruling, somehow he just magically knows better. Somehow.
He thinks that there's only one video. He's like, I didn't see the video. And the other guy's like, there's hundreds of videos, basically. Everyone was taking it from different angles.
Yeah, there were a ton of videos, and also like people testifying.
By all accounts and to the naked eye, his knee was on the neck of that man for an extended period of time. And, that video wasn't the media. They got there well after that video was already taken, because it wasn't a story until he passed away.
So in that case, so there's lots of videos, but how come we're not seeing inside the White House on January 6th videos?
Well,
He's moving
there's
the
no
goalpost.
video. People can't just go inside.
This is literally just whataboutism. Like he just did what about that's like being like, oh really? Then how come there are no videos of the Titanic sinking?
Yeah, literally. He's
Checkmate.
like,
Like
he literally just moved the goalpost to a completely different spot. He didn't even answer his question. He's just like, oh yeah, but what about this? And then it's like so far away. You're like, aren't we here? And he's like, no, we're all the way over here. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
If they can lie about January 6th, they can lie about everything. Imagine 9/11 was an inside job.
And
The
before you,
aliens built the Great Pyramids.
and before you know it, you're arguing something completely different.
Well, there's no video. People can't just go inside the White House.
There's people that go inside the White House all the time.
I feel like I could almost hear like the AOL startup, like AOL internet connecting sound or whatever.
You could hear crickets. And it might, like I imagined cricket sounds, like just playing, where he's just like
He's just like
not saying anything.
What?
Right. You can't, like, if I wanted to take a camera into the White House, I couldn't just take a camera into the White House.
Yeah, but there's surveillance videos all over.
What was the White House? What was the White House in terms of
January 6th. January 6th, where they had
at the Capitol?
at the Capitol.
We
Right?
saw
There
those
was video at the
surveillance
Capitol,
videos.
plenty of it.
So then why aren't they showing America that?
There were several videos. He just said that from the video he saw, they were just letting them in.
Literally, we saw all of the footage from inside of the Capitol because people were getting arrested for it, and we saw like the QAnon shaman guy.
Yeah.
We saw like video of him walking around inside of the Capitol and like pictures and stuff.
There was
We
that
saw
one.
everything that happened. People like pouring into like the main corridors and stuff.
Yeah, there was this real estate Karen lady who broke in that I made a video on at the time, and she was like filming herself, like live streaming, like in the Capitol. There's so many videos.
The votes. The Dominion voting machines stole the votes. And George Soros, Mark Zuckerberg, paid
Mark Zuckerbuck?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Suckabuck? Mark Suckaduck. What? What? How is she actually still on the Dominion thing? Is she not aware that there were so many different investigations done into the Dominion voting machines? Remember the whole lawsuit with Dominion?
Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone who was saying that like Dominion's evil, their voting machines are evil or whatever, as soon as the lawsuit broke, all of them shut the fuck up.
paid $400 million to flip the votes. Mike the Pillow Man will tell you that.
Who? Mike the Pillow?
Remember Mike the Pillow Man? Mike Lindell?
No.
Oh, this guy?
I have no idea who that is.
The My Pillow guy? He's like obsessed with Trump.
I've never even seen him in my life.
He created like a pillow that's supposedly like the best
Did he
pillow in the world.
really?
Yeah, and apparently it actually is a really good pillow, but he's also like a huge Trump simp, so much so that he's been like obsessed with the election fraud thing, and then
Yeah.
he just would not stop. Like even while everyone else, like even when Trump was like dying down with it and everything, like he was still just like on and on and on about it.
I bet Trump is that one celebrity that he would sleep with in his marriage.
Yeah,
I'd
exactly.
give him a chance.
He's like, I'd step out on my wife and my sexuality for you, Trump.
So Mike Lindell says that. So that's the fact then, right?
Trump says that. Joe Biden has been dead since 2019. James Woods, the actor, is playing Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe Poopy Pants. But the president is
What?
Who's James Wood?
He's like this conservative actor guy. He's a conservative. So why is she saying
we
he would be playing Joe Biden?
Can I see a picture of him? I want to see if he looks like Joe Biden.
He looks nothing like him.
He doesn't even look like him.
I think that she thought that crack cocaine and her antipsychosis drugs that morning looked exactly the same. And then she took the crack.
trying to get us back down with our economy because,
So he is the president.
yes, he never conceded. He is very much the president of the republic. Biden
The
has been
Republic.
doing all his White House pictures out there in California at Black Rock Studio with a fake green screen.
And
He
so,
doesn't even live in the White House. Nobody lives in White House.
so he's in California.
Yeah.
Tell me about if
Okay, that lady
What?
might that lady may have taken the cake for the craziest of all.
She literally is schizo posting.
Yeah, she's schizo. I actually think she should be in like a psychiatric ward.
Think if she was like she's so passionate about this and outspoken. Think if like she used that power for good. You know, she's so devout to this propaganda. Like if she just used this for good, like she could literally overturn so many things. You know what I mean? Like she could get so many people rights.
Yeah, true.
tell me about if Donald Trump does not win, what do you do?
I hope that I'm going to die.
You want to die if Donald Trump doesn't win?
I don't want to live like this anymore. You like our country the way it is now?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I mean, unemployment is like pretty good right now. The economy's doing pretty good. A big issue that apparently is happening is that if you look at the numbers, the economy is doing really, really well. But recent surveys also found that a lot of Americans are saying that they're not really feeling the effects of the positive economy. So, although things are benefiting and improving, I should say, a lot of Americans still aren't feeling like they are improving. And so there's
Yeah.
like a little bit of like this cognitive dissonance, like disconnect from what is actually happening and what you kind of feel like is happening. And then even more so, there's another study also that found that people are more likely to rate the economy good when the person associated with their political side is in office. So Democrats will say the economy's doing good when Biden's president. Republicans say the same thing about Trump. So that's also
Yeah.
something to consider.
Yeah, well, they were also blaming Biden for the gas prices when it was literally like everything, or like just the inflation for like after the coronavirus ended, and then people started actually buying things again and leaving the house, and gas prices,
Yeah.
like they literally were blaming Biden for that.
And gas prices were already like skyrocketing under Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter what I think, but you've got a pretty good life. You got nice clothes on, you got hat on, sunglasses, you got your health. I mean, the country's done pretty well by you, right?
No, the country hasn't done anything by me. I've done everything for myself. My husband and I took care of ourselves as we grew older. Now, when we got ready to retire, we had planned what we were going to do. Now, what is the country doing for me now? Do I get any interest on anything that I put away and saved?
Well, your money is safe, right?
I wouldn't say that.
Wait, you don't get any interest? Lady, you don't need to be bitching out the president. You need to be going and talking to a financial advisor.
Yeah. Plus, if she's losing interest in the things that she's investing in, then maybe she should see a psychiatrist, because losing interest is a sign of depression.
For a minute, I thought you were being like really serious, and I was like, oh no, she missed it. Oh wait, no. Okay.
Access to health care.
I have access to health care because my husband served 20 years in the military.
So the military did something for your family. The military is trustworthy, right? I mean, the military healthcare system's great.
No, I wouldn't say it's great. We were promised free health care for our whole life, but that did not happen.
What is it that is so bad about where America is, or where you are right now with America, that you would want to die if Donald Trump doesn't win?
I just don't want to live in a country that is screwed up as this one, that people are
Or just
so
move.
out of control.
Why do you have to
and-
die?
What does she
Why do you have
mean?
to
Like,
die? Like, why not just move?
and also notice like hardly any of the Trump supporters interviewed are able to really give a coherent answer as to like what's even wrong.
Mhm.
A lot of them are like they just have this like weird perception, this like vague idea that like America's bad now. It's not what it used to be. Like it's just because they're listening to like Fox News and stuff.
These people are sad. They literally believe that they need to work their whole lives to death until they die, and that they have no purpose, and the only purpose is to be emotionally and physically strong enough to just be a cog in the machine. It's
really
sad.
and that they think that that they're entitled to everything. What do you think about the stealing that's going on right now?
What do you mean stealing?
People walk into stores and just can walk out with stuff.
Well, crime is a problem, but there's also a lot of places where people
But
have to.
crime is increasing every day.
Where's that
Actually,
happening?
So what's happened is in certain areas they have changed policies where it's something to do with how what is and is not classified as like petty theft, and they changed it to be like $1,000 or something.
Mhm.
And then conservatives were trying to say because of this change, now this is why a bunch of people are like running into stores stealing and then walking out, and they're just stealing just enough of $999 worth of stuff.
To avoid a grand theft auto
Yeah,
charge.
like some shit like this. When
A
in
grand theft charge, yeah.
when in reality, what she's saying here, like how they're just letting them walk out, is because again, yeah, that's protocol. I don't think the minimum wage worker on like the floor of the Apple store is gonna want to try to stop the guy who's running through the store stealing.
Yeah,
He's
plus-
not getting paid for that shit.
Yeah, plus they shouldn't have to, and then they just get their picture from the security camera and say they're banned there.
Yeah, they ban them. They're able
Yeah.
to call the police. They're able to
Yeah,
identify
and then
them.
they can trespass them the next time they go on there because they're banned.
They also have, I'm pretty sure companies, especially as large as Apple, have collateral and other things where they will be reimbursed for certain losses.
Data shows it's not.
Well, I don't care what the data shows.
Obviously, she doesn't care what the data shows, but that's what the interviewer said is correct. Crime is decreasing. It's doing pretty good right now, actually.
You and I can't talk to each other because you have a totally different idea of what's going on than what I have.
So what do you trust?
Damn, she seems very entitled to only, I don't know, just like only have people that she agrees with talk to her. She said she doesn't want to live in the country anymore because everyone's so entitled. She's acting really entitled. She's also entitled to Trump being president.
I trust Donald Trump. I trust Donald Trump. And what really upsets me the most is everybody remembers that one little blip that Billy Bush put out there when he first started to run.
About grabbing the.
Yeah, that's the
Who's
That was
Billy
pretty
Bush?
memorable.
He was the guy that Trump was with when he was caught on air saying, I like to grab him by the bleep with that whole thing.
Damn. You want to know what? Was there a tsunami around here? Because there's a lot of tidal waves.
Based.
Well, why is that memorable? Why isn't it memorable the things that he did do?
Well, he's been
Also, can I just say
Oh, it
the-
is memorable, the things he did do. It's very memorable.
Yeah, believe me, that's very that's very incredibly memorable. Also, it's very cult minded the way she just said she only trusts Donald Trump like that. And that's actually really eerie because that's kind of what Trump does and wants to do with his followers, and that's why they're so like loyal to him as well, is because he has made it so that they don't trust anything except him. And
Yeah.
that's a really dangerous place to be in.
Yeah, and then when anybody's like, "Hey, that's not what all the sources say," they're like, "Do your own research. The sources just want you to think that. We're living in a simulation, man."
It's literally no different than religion, where it's like, well, actually, all the evidence suggests this thing happened. Well, no, the Bible says this, and the world wants to deceive me. That's what the Bible says. They says they want to deceive me or whatever. So I don't listen to it. I don't want to believe that. Like it's very cult minded.
Well, he's been indicted in 4 different cases and 91 criminal
None of
charges.
that stuff is true. You know it's not.
I don't know whether it's true or not. I
You
just
want
know
it to
that.
be true.
No, I
Are
just
you-
know that
are
a
you a non-Trumper?
No, I'm just a journalist who sees that he's been. I mean, so how do you explain all these charges? How do
See?
you explain?
Don't trust the journalists just by virtue of them being a journalist. She's like, you're out. You're done.
What's
Well, they're
going
all
on?
made up.
They're all made up.
Yep. They're all made up.
So the election interference in Georgia, Sidney Powell and Kenneth Chesebro, who worked for Donald Trump as lawyers, they just pled guilty.
Kenneth Cheesebro. Now that is a last name.
That sounds like a Fortnite skin.
Believe they pled guilty?
Wait, Trump's own lawyers are pleading guilty, and she doesn't believe this?
I feel like if Trump went against what he said and he admitted it, she would be like, "Trump's lying. You can't trust Trump."
Turn on the TV. I never listen to any of that.
So where do you get your information if you don't watch the
I
news?
get my information from Telegram.
From Telegram.
Oh no! Do you know what Telegram is?
It's like a conservative site thing, right?
Well, it's more like a messenger app that's just kind of like an encrypted thing. It's supposed to be like secure for your data, but all the conservatives flock there because you can get
Yeah.
followers that you can then like send messages out to all the followers and they can like it, kind of thing.
So she's
Um,
just in an echo chamber.
Yes, and Telegram is not only where like that's where you go when you're banned. So that means that you're like domestic terrorist level shit or like full-blown election denial, full-blown like
Damn.
Holocaust
It's like
denialism.
4chan. It's like 4chan.
Yeah.
For
No,
supporters.
all the neo-Nazis and everything, like Nick Fuentes.
Damn.
Nick Fuentes himself is huge on Telegram. So the fact that
Ew.
she's saying she doesn't even watch the TV, only Telegram.
Are there any liberal or progressive voices on Telegram?
I don't have any idea.
There are not. Is it important to hear from people who have a different point of view than you?
I'd like to sit down with a liberal someday and have them tell me what it is that they think is so great about what's going on right now.
What particular issue would you like to talk about?
I don't know. What do you think is so great about what's going on right now?
I think what's so great is that people who are in the United States now have more opportunities than anywhere else around the world.
When's the last time you paid for a loaf of bread?
I just went to the store the other day and I was glad to see that inflation is down.
Oh,
It's true.
We can't talk anymore.
Unemployment is down. My 401k is doing great. Your 401k is doing great. The markets are awesome.
No. I can't even see. That's why I
Is
can't
that lady
talk
in the
to
middle of the road trying to get their
Well, if
attention?
we can't talk to each other, what are we going to do?
What the absolute hell? Damn. She just migrated
She
away,
rage
if you will.
quit.
She migrated away.
Well, I hope that she decides to immigrate instead of killing herself if Trump loses.
Yeah, hey, maybe she can illegally cross the border into Canada. All right, well, there you guys have it. More deranged Trump supporters once again being deranged. Thank you, Holly, for
Yeah.
tuning in today and giving your feedback. Can you let everybody know where they can find you?
You can literally find me on Twitch at just Holly HOLE, and then Holly Peno on pretty much anything else. Yes, it was really exciting to be here.
And I will definitely link Holly's Twitch channel in the description as well, so you can click that if you guys want to go follow her. Don't forget to click that like button and subscribe button if you have not already. Thanks everybody for watching. See you later. If you want to support the channel, please consider becoming a member today. Members get early access to videos, access to all the stream VODs, and exclusive access to emotes as well. So if you'd like to support the channel, become a member today.